Okay, so very good morning to all of you. Now, in our previous classes, we are in the discussion, and then suddenly the power goes off, and due to that reason, the class ends abruptly. Okay, so we will continue from that particular part from today's class. Actually, okay, just give me a moment. Okay, fine. So the scenario is we are talking with the topic of DLC, and in that part of DLC we are talking that flow and error control, right? So we are on a discussion. We are in the middle of the discussion of this particular topic, flow and error control. So what we have talked that the data that is following as an example, I have given an example in my previous classes that some entity or the item when it is produced in the market. So from the client side or from the production house, the producer side, the production of that particular item needs to be balanced with the item with the demand of that particular item in the market, right? Otherwise there will be not the scenario that can be very helpful. So the thing is the balance need to be there with the rate of the production and the demand of the particular item in the market. If any of the things is not in the balance scenario, means I'm trying to say that either the production is too much but the demand is not as that much, so the item will be much higher but it will be not sell into the market as per the demand. And secondly, the production or the production of the particular item is very less but the demand is very huge, So the demand it is not be fulfilled. So this type of scenario, to avoid this type of scenario, there will be a flow and balance need to be there. The same thing, the same concept is used here while the time of the data sent from the sender side to the receiver side, means client and server. So the data is sent from the sender side and data is going to be received at the receiver side. So the data that is going to be sent from the sender side to the receiver side actually, right? So consider this is my sender and this is the receiver. So the scenario, the sender and the receiver is trying to send the data within each other, and a flow needs to be there to connect with the sender and the receiver, because the sender is sending the data at a full speed, but the receiver, if the receiver is not able to receive that particular data, if the receiver is not able to receive that particular data, then that will be a hectic problem actually, right? So that's why the connection and the balance needs to be there. To balance this particular scenario between the data flow of the sender and the receiver, a buffer is set here. A buffer was present in each side, in the sender and receiver both sides. So this buffer is actually helping to make the balance between the sender and the receiver. So a buffer is actually working here. So what is the role of this buffer or how it is working? So this buffer is helping to control the flow. So we can say this flow control is used with the help of this buffer. So this buffer actually is a set of memory location that is going to hold the packets at the sender and the receiver side. So what is the role of buffer, or what is a buffer actually? We can say a buffer, it is a set of memory location. It is a set of memory location that is actually holding some packets at the sender and receiver side. So in both sender and receiver side, it is holding the packets. So a set of memory location that is holding the packets at both sender and receiver side, right? So in the both side, the buffer, which is a set of memory location, is holding that particular packet that is coming from the sender side and also going to the receiver side. So this buffer can be used in two ways. Means two buffer actually using here. One is to the sender, one is to the receiver side. So this flow control, when the sender is sending the data, it is going through the buffer of the sender side and then it is released to the buffer to the receiver side. So the data is having an extra memory. The flow is going to be passed through an extra phase of memory that is holding the data and then passing the data. So a better time will be there to make the balance, to keep the balance between the data rate, between the data flow with the sender and the receiver side, right? So this buffer is actually helping us to make this particular balance. So the buffer, so continuation of this data, sender is having the buffer and sender is sending the data through the buffer and receiver is receiving the data at the buffer side. So now the scenario is when the buffer of the receiver, so there is a buffer also, right? So when this buffer of this particular receiver, so the data is actually holding here in this particular scenario. So buffer, actually better it will be something like this. So this buffer, when the memory of the buffer of the receiver side is full, so what happens when the buffer is full in the receiver side, it will send a signal to the sender side to wait or stop to send the frames, to send the packets from the sender side. So it will inform the sender to just wait for some time before releasing any new packets, before sending any new packets to the buffer side, because the buffer of the receiver is already full, so it cannot accept any much data. So when the buffer will be cleared or buffer will have the memory to consume more packets or more data from the sender side, then it will give again a signal that now you can send again. So this buffer is helping us to make the balance to go with the flow of the data. Now the part of this error control. this error control means it will include two particular things. When we are talking about this part of error control, it will actually trying to implement two things. First one, we can say error detection, and second one we can say error correction. So there are two parts. First one is error detection, second one is error correction. So talking about this error control, it will include these two parts, error detection and error correction. So this error control actually allows us to receive or allows the receiver actually to inform the sender about any damaged or lost frame during the transmission. So what is the part of this error control? What is error control actually? That this error control, if I'm trying to talk, so this error control, it will inform the sender about any damaged or lost packets or frames, we can say, during the transmission. So this error control is a process that will inform the sender about any damaged or lost packets or frames during the transmission. So this error control, the link, the data layer is control is normally implemented by, there is two methods we are talking about, that if frame is corrupted, then it will be discarded. So that is two part. If the frame is discarded, if the frame is corrupted, then it will be discarded, and again it will need to send that corrupted frame. So if the frame is not corrupted, then it also be discarded. So what is the process? Is the frame is not corrupted means something like damage. So one will be damage scenario, one will be a loss scenario. Damage means the frame is corrupted. So when the frame is corrupted, the packet will be delivered, but it will not having the data. So it will understand that there is a problem with this particular packet. So the receiver will send a signal to the sender that there is a damaged frame. Kindly repeat that or send the frame again. And second method, that while actually accumulating or gathering the total portion, some of the frames may be lost. It is not received at all. So then again some signal will be sent to the particular sender that this particular frame we have not received, or there is a lost frame here. So kindly check and send that particular lost frame. So in the both case, this is the error detection process. The two process of this error detection, either one is a damaged frame, another one is a lost frame. So in this both cases, the acknowledgement will be done from the receiver side to the sender about the damage or the lost frame. So this error process, the process of this error control and the flow control, this is a combination process, and both needs to be balanced, because when the data will be flow at the same time, the error can be happen, because the error cannot be happen any other time. When the data is going to be passed from the sender to receiver side, the receiver is receiving the data, the error will be happening at the same time. So the flow and the error control, it is a combination. It is a combination, or we can say it is a single task with multiple purpose. Flow and error control is happening at the same time. So this acknowledgement that is sent by the flow control is also using as a part of the error control to tell the sender about any packet which is damaged or which is lost, right? So this lack of so this acknowledgement means that whether it is okay, there will be, if all the things okay, still there will be an acknowledgement, and if there is not, if there is any problem, the acknowledgement will be sent to the sender side for this particular purpose, right? So there is a two process about this when talking about this data link control, or when the data is going to be sent. So data is transmitting. So the passing of the data, there will be two process or two channels we can use. One we can say connectionless, and another one is connection oriented. So this DLC that we are talking about, the DLC protocol, can be passed via two process. First one, a connection oriented, and second one, connectionless. So connection oriented or connectionless, there will be two scenario by this DLC protocol following, right? So talking about the first one, connectionless protocol, because in the connectionless protocol there is a much high chances about the damaged packets, about or a packet is lost. So what happens in the connectionless protocol, that frames, the packets or the frames from the sender side are sent from one node to the next without any type of connection between the frames. Means that each of the frames is going to transmit independently. There is no dependency. Means from the sender side, from the sender node, a packet is going to transmit and it can be goes independently. That is, there is no particular relation, there is no particular connection between each and every frame, right? So the frames can be traveled to the receiver side as per its own choice, as per its own independence, right? So this connectionless protocol, this term, the connectionless, that there is no actually where or a connection system was created, but there is some physical devices, some mediums between the nodes that is connecting this connectionless protocol. So the scenario is, when we are talking about this connectionless protocol, it doesn't mean that there is no physical connection. There is actually no wired connection, but there is physical devices are present that is helping for the transmission. Some routers, some switch, hubs, all are present to make the connection, but no wired or no path, dedicated path is there. So that is the term connectionless means. So the connectionless means that the transmission is happening between the nodes with the help of some physical devices, routers, such as these particular types of devices. So these frames that is going to be sent from the sender side via this connectionless protocol that are not having any type of number or any type of order. So passing or getting out from the sender node, it can travel through any router, any switch hubs, any particular path, and it can reach to the receiver side. Maybe one of the packets can reach very fast, one packet can be reached very slowly, depending upon what path the packet has choose, independent opinion, independent options they have. So the frames, you have not any type of order when it is getting out from the sender side, but the thing is, it has some scenario, it has some ordering scenario when it is going to receive at the receiver side. The headers and the tailors of the packets, each of the packets having some connections, having some scenario by which you can actually rearrange them to make the sense of the data. So this data link protocols or DLCs are connectionless protocol. In the term, that connectionless means it does not have any wired or dedicated path system, but it have a physical devices that is helping for the transmission. And connection oriented protocol means establishment with a dedicated path will be there. So a connection first established between the two nodes via a dedicated path. Means if we remember the previous classes, when we have talked about this connection protocol, means connection oriented protocol, there is some setup phase, there is some transfer phase, there is some tear down phase. I hope you will remember the terms. I'm going to write the terms again for the connection oriented protocol. These are the terms: setup phase. Second one is actually transfer phase, and third one is tear down phase. So with the help of in the part of this connection oriented protocols, these three phases are there: setup phase, transfer phase, tear down phase, and a connection with some acknowledgement and an established dedicated path connection will be set up first. So these frames, the frames that is coming from the sender side are actually reacted or actually transmitted through this particular dedicated path. The terminated transfer phase, first the setup phase will be there to set up the connection, then the data will be transferred with the help of the transfer phase in the connection oriented protocol, and then when the transfer was done, when the data transmission was done, it will be a tear down phase to close the connection. So the frames will be in order, and the receiver does not wait to receive all the frames, because the frames will be going in order from the sender side to the receiver side via that particular dedicated path. So in both the case, in both the connections, there is connectionless and connection oriented protocol. The scenario is happening, the scenario goes on, right? Now this part talking about this data link DLC, the data link protocols or data link controls, we can say the data link layer. All the things are happening in the part of DLL, the data link layer protocol actually, right? So this data link layer, the protocols, there are two type of protocols to deal with the flow and error control. So there is basically we can say two type of protocols that is actually helping us to deal with the flow and error control. What are the two if we are talking about? First one, that we can say simple protocol, and second one we can say stop and wait protocol. So there are two type of protocol that is helping. First one is simple protocol and second one is uh, stop and wait protocol. So this two type of protocol is there to help the data link layer to deal with the flow and error control. So the behavior of this data link protocol is something, as an example we can say the finite state machine. So can you people tell me where you have heard this FSM, the finite state machine term? You people have heard the term already. Where you people have heard this particular term FSM, finite state machine? I'm writing the name FSM, finite state machine. Where you people heard this term? In which subject this
In
term?
POC.
Yes.
Sir, flat.
Can you repeat what you have said?
Sir, formal language and automata theory.
Yes. So in your fourth semester, there is a subject called FLAT or formal language and automata theory. In that particular subject, there is a term, this FSM, the finite state machine or something like Turing machine. This type of term you people have studied or you people have heard, right? So the concept of this data link layer or the part of this DLC is something depending or something related to the FSM, the finite state machine. The protocol is something like that finite state machine. So what happened in FSM, that this finite state machine have some finite number of states, right? Something like state 1, state 2, this something like states is present in the finite state machines. And this machines, what happened, what it is do, that is always in one of the states until an event occurs. So when if an event occurring, either it will be some states in some state 1 or state 2, means whatever the states are present in that finite state machine, it will be in any type of state until any type of events occur, right? So each of these events is associated with two type of reactions, defining the list or determining the next stage, right? Or performing what we can perform in the next stage. So if I just draw a simple diagram of this FSM, means just a remember portion, because as it is related to this particular scenario. So suppose considering there is a state 1, consider state 2. So two state I am actually drawing, considering this finite state machine has two states, state 1 and state 2, right? And each of these having its own connection, own phases, right? So something like, just a moment. Okay, so something that, suppose this is a finite state of this particular 2. So consider there is an event 1 is happening, event 1, that is some event is happening here, some event is happening if it is there. So something we are writing some events. This is some event 3, So some events are going on. Okay. So event one, when the event one is happening, consider for this particular event one, there will be some actions, right? Considering action one, consider action two. So for the event one, maybe two actions is happening. For the event two, one action is happening. Consider that is action three. For event three, maybe there will be so no action, maybe there will be some action, right? So this is a something particular type of FSM. We can state that it is a particular type of machine, have finite state machines. So this event, each of these events maybe have reactions, maybe have some one reaction, maybe have two reactions, depending upon the event it is happening, right? So defining the list or the possible entry of this particular event, the action can be performed, right? And upon the particular action, what can be the next step? It also be determined. So this event having particular reactions, it is going on. So one of the states must have an initial state, maybe state one for the initial, and state two maybe the secondary state. For moving to the next state, it can happen. So the machine starts when it turns on. So this is a simple FSM or finite state machine concept that you have people studied in formal language and automata theory. So the same scenario, the protocol of this is actually goes with the same type of scenario. If one of these event happening, then this performs or then this action will be happening. Otherwise, the state will be changed or this action will be happening, right? So the simplest protocol. Now coming to the part, there will be two type of protocol, as I have said, that one is simple protocol, one is stop and wait protocol. What happened in the simple protocol? That this protocol, there are some assumptions made on this simple protocol. First, that the protocol has no flow control or has no error control. So simplest protocol, it is saying that assumptions have been made that it has no flow and error control. And this protocol is an unidirectional protocol. In the frames are traveling in only one direction. We are considering that the frames are traveling from one direction. So the receiver can handle any frame it's received. So no acknowledgement, no sending of some any type of data back to the sender from the receiver side, right? So how the thing works, or how we can actually control all the things in the simplest protocol. If there is no flow and error control, if there is an unidirectional protocol, if there is no acknowledgement is happening, then how we can actually control the site. So we have said initially all the things have two parts. One is the sender part and the one is the receiver side, right? So what happened in the sender side and what happened in the receiver side? For I'm talking about, obviously this is the simplest protocol. So what happened in the sender side? That layer in the sender side, the data link layer, getting data from its previous layer, that is the network layer, right? So the data is in the data link layer is coming from the network layer and creates a frame out of that particular data and sending the frame. So sender is sending the frame with the node from the sender side. And in the receiver side, the receiver is receiving the frame from its physical layer, right? So the concept we have studied at the time of layers, where we're studying the layer, all this is how the layer, how the data coming from sender side and how the data is processed in the receiver side, from which layer to which layer. So the receiver receives the data or receives the frame in its physical layer and extracts the data from that particular frame and deliver the data to the network. That's the same concept. In the sender side, network layer, data link layer, physical layer; in the receiver side, physical layer, data link layer, network layer. So this data link layer of the sender and the receiver in the both sides is providing some transmission services for the network layer, right? And the layer, this particular layer is used some services provided by the physical layers for the transmission of the bits. So at the sender side, from the sender side, when the node or when the frame is sending, it is releasing one frame at a time, and the receiver is releasing that frame at an immediate response, right? So no flow and error, this type of control needs to be there, because one frame I'm sending and one frame the receiver is receiving. Secondly, next I'm sending the frame and it is receiving, and it has particular process, particular flow by which it is actually going on. So a connection created, a protocol in the simplest protocol, the FSM, there is some, the state machine is there, the connection is created and the sender is sending one node and one frame at a time from the node, and it is the receiver is receiving that particular frame in the particular node. Now the thing is, there are some requirements. What are the requirements? That the sender cannot send a frame until the network layer has a data packet to send. Means the data from the sender side is going to the from the data link layer to the physical and data bus. So the first requirement, the data link layer must have some data coming from the network layer. And the receiver side cannot deliver a data packet to the network layer until it's receiving any type of frame from its physical layer. So the state, we can say a ready state will be there in the sender side and in the receiver side. In both of the cases, some requirements will be there from a ready state in the sender side, that a packet coming from the network layer, and then it will be ready to send the data. And same in the receiver side, the packet will be delivered to the network layer until when it is receiving some data from this physical layer. So at the sending side, the machine, or if considering this is a scenario of finite state machine, so sender side is one finite state machine, one state, and receiver have one state. So the sender machine remains in a ready state or in an ideal state until a process comes, until a request comes from the network layer. And when these events occur, when a network layer, when a data is receiving or coming from the network layer to the DLC, the data link layer, this is an event. The event is happening. The sending machine will then process the message in a frame and send it to the receiving machine. And at the same, the receiving machine will be remain in an idle state or in a ready state until it receives something from the physical layer. So when it is receiving some data from the physical layer, it is an event happening, and then it starts to process or then it starts to respond. So that's why I have said that it is a particular concept of a finite state machine. It is a similar concept type of finite state machine where it will be some idle state until any event occurs. When an event is occurring, when an event will happen, then only it will be processed. Then only it will be goes on, right? So this sending and the receiving nodes packets, if I draw a network layer, a sending node network layer packet coming from the network layer to the data link layer, and then it will be merged at the same, and then it will be goes on, right? So if I just draw a simplest scenario for this particular event, a simplest scenario, right? Consider my sender, consider my receiver, and in the sender side, maybe two particular layer we can talk about. First one, a network layer. Second one, we can say a data link. Same here, we can say first one is a data link layer and second one is a network layer. Right. Now, just a minute. The network, the data link. Okay. So what happened as per the scenario, some packets first, some packets will come from the network layer to a data link layer, and then that will be processed. The event will happening, and then it will be processed, and then the data link layer again goes for the network layer. So this particular portion, I am talking about this particular portion, that is be in some ideal state until this scenario will happen, right? So each and everything is a particular combination until this scenario, until some data will be coming from the network layer to data link layer, this particular portion will be remain idle, right? So when a packet coming from the network layer to the data link layer, then this process will start, and then this data link layer will and the network layer will be remain idle state until some data will be coming from this particular scenario, and then this connection from data and data link layer will be happening. So each and every time this particular scenario will happen, first some data will be coming from the network to data link layer, then this particular process will happen, and then the acknowledgement, and then the data link layer to the network layer. So this is just a flow diagram of the frames I am talking about. This is the frames and these are the packets. These are my frames that will be going to pass from the scenario. So some frame coming from the network to data link layer, and then it will be passing through the medium, and then at the receiver end the data link layer and the network link layer, right? So this top the simplest protocol have this particular scenario, particular some FSM, the finite state machine concept, to use that particular scenario to control the data and flow. Whether there is no data and flow control because the sender is sending one frame at the same time. Now the second part here that we are talking about, that is a stop and wait protocol, right? The next part here, that is stop and wait protocol. That this stop and wait protocol is actually used both the flow and error control. The stop and wait protocol. So the stop and wait protocol is actually using both flow and error control. So it is using both flow and error control. So using both flow and error control, and this receiver has a limited storage space, and if the receiver is receiving data from many sources, the receiver may be overloaded with the frames or discard the frames, right? So to prevent this, means to prevent the overloaded of the memory with the frames, we need to send the signal to the sender side to slow down your process. So the stop and wait protocol, stop and then wait and then sending the protocol. It is the term, it is the name that is used here as a stop and wait protocol. This is the term that we have used here as a stop and wait protocol, right? So we will continue the stop and wait protocol. Just a short scenario is there that quickly rejoin the link again. I'm going to disconnect the link again right now. So for just 10 minutes, we will having a discussion just for a quick 10 minutes, then the scenario will be over. Just a 10 minutes discussion and then we will stop this particular scenario. Okay. So I'm going to disconnect the link and quickly join again for just 10 minutes scenario. Okay. And then we will mark your attendance and all the scenario. Okay, fine. So quickly join again.